Alrighty, so she's knocking, so it's time to come out. So here's the game plan. Alright, pulling this motor out. This was a bone stock motor. She took 21 pounds off of that. I'm sure maybe I fucked up somewhere else, so it's my fault. I fucked up. Whatever. It happens. I'm learning. We even had a nice little commenter that basically said I should just... I'm terrible for the Furo community. It's pretty funny. I laughed. Everybody had a laugh. But, so, yeah. So the game plan. Get another 3800. We're tearing her down. She's getting ST1 cam. She's getting 125 pound valve springs. Those are the two things that I already had. So Buddy hooked it up with the cam, and I already had the springs out of the 3400. So we're just trying to save a little bit of money here, because it's, if I were to buy those two things again, it'd be like 550 bucks. So I bought a double roller timing chain, LS7 lifters, the machine down oil pump. I got some new Autolite 103s for my spark plugs, because that's the big thing that matters. We got some ARP head studs and some MLS head gaskets. So I don't have anything else to really say other than that's what we're gonna do. Shit happens, and I actually am really happy with how this lasted. I mean, it was a $125 motor. I'm pretty confident that these motors are very strong. I mean, they're proven to be strong, so it lasted a long time for me, and I was really throwing some serious crap at it, at least compared to what I used to do with like the 3400s, but you know, I've been learning. So gonna pretty much start the prep today to start pulling the crap. Alrighty, so gonna go ahead and try and get all this stuff off. Main thing, I want to try and get the motor pulled from the trans. Alrighty, so she's apart, and like all the parts I need, they're all over there. We got to pull off the manifolds, and then I got to pull off the clutch setup, and then I got to pull off the oil pan, because the oil pan's got my drain on it. We'll have to pull off this dampener too at some point, and the water pump. I'm just gonna block off that one on that's on the other motor for the freeze plugs for blocking off the heater core shit. Man, if I would have known I was gonna blow this up with a new turbo, I would have just kept the heater core lines on. But yeah, so just gotta do all that, and then this motor's pretty much donezo. We'll probably pull the heads off, maybe see if there's anything catastrophic and cool looking, see if this was worth my time, even though I doubt it. We could have chipped the piston, but I don't really think so, because I've chipped a piston before, and that's a whole different sound. So, but yeah, it could have floated valves, and maybe we bent some valves, because it was cracking and it was like popping on the way home, so as if like an exhaust valve was open when it shouldn't be. So alright, I guess let's pull some more crap off. Alright, so I think this is why this motor died. Because this is a coolant port, it's supposed to be, into the head.
What's the intake side look like?
Yeah, so that's a coolant port, and that was clogged, and it's on these two cylinders. It's literally right between the two cylinders that died on us. So I'm pretty sure that would mean that... Oh yeah, that whole...
Oh, that's really hard.
Yeah. So we had a coolant port was blocked on the two cylinders, which would make these two hot.
Oh, there's more. Both of these. This side too.
Huh.
So it was gonna be even worse.
So apparently, I think that's what happens when you mix coolant. But I used, what is that one shit? This Pre-Stone, and that you can use with the other stuff, so it must have been like that already before. Surprised it lasted that long. Weird. Oh well. Well, that's definitely what it is, but we're gonna pull off the head. I'm pulling off the rockers right now, pulling off the head, and then we're gonna go ahead and see what happened. Oh, yeah, so I'm gonna guess that a chip piston then, because that would have been those cylinders got hot. So my guess is a chip piston. Guess what, guys? I was right. Chip piston. Chip piston. Even though I was expecting, usually when it chips a piston, it makes crunchy noises, but...
It's a ringland, isn't it?
Yeah, basically the rings butt up against each other and it pinches and it's got to go somewhere, so it just pinches off the top. We've done this way too many times. This time we chipped 2, so that's impressive. That's pretty sweet. So this is actually a common thing in 3800s, I guess, but probably because the coolant thing is plugged. But yeah, Paul's looking at this one. I don't want to lift it up, but that one's plugged pretty good. I think he said
the front ones.
Yeah. So this one was plugged pretty good. So yeah.
So, the other side
so there's a probability that it wasn't actually my fault. I mean, probably, but I'm gonna go on a limb and say that the plugging wasn't really my fault. I mean, it could have been prevented if I took it apart, like Paul was saying earlier before I started filming, but I ain't gonna do that. If I would have done the top swap, I would have found it.
Yeah, that's true.
So, dang it. Why didn't you have it in stock? Because I probably would have waited to do the turbo and that at the same time.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So, unfortunately, 2 chip pistons.
At least.
At least. We're going to pull off the other side and see. But I'm pretty sure it's just these 2. Because you can see it killed the spark plugs on this. Obviously, because there's pieces of metal flopping around. And I'm assuming it bent the exhaust valves. I'm sure it's tiny. Oh no, I better look at my turbo. I better look at... I don't want to take off the exhaust.
Oh,
because those things could have gone through the exhaust. Because those little bits went somewheres. That'd be the worst.
Big yikes.
I don't want to look. But now I probably got to go look. Alright, before I get too far ahead of myself, so I'm pulling off the heads to make sure that pistons are all good. And then obviously we have to pull the heads off anyhow because we got to do valve springs and we're going to do MLS head gasket and ARP head studs. So, all that good stuff. Alrighty, so get the front off, timing off, all that crap. And got the, I got the balance shaft out. You have to freaking pop this thing off. That was fun, using a screwdriver and a hammer and then another screwdriver. So this side you just have bearings. That side up on the top there is an oil hole which you have to plug. I'm going to be, it looks like we're gonna have to pull off the back cover. I was kind of hoping not to, but I mean I've already pretty much tore this motor down pretty far, so what's another cover? So we'll have to pull that off. We have to pound out that bearing. I've heard that you could just pound that out and then you rotate it and then pound it back in, but I actually ordered some Dodge 440 cam bearings and we're just gonna do that. So yeah, and then once I get the crank bolts done, which I'll be drilling those out. I've already done 3 of them, drilled and tapped them. We're gonna be doing what are we doing? We're drilling them out from some little guys up to some M10 by 1.0s off of like, I think they're off an SR20 or something. If I remember, I'll put like links in the description for that crap. I'll also leave a link to the forum for BVM Motorsports. He, on YouTube, check him out. He's doing the K20 swap Fiero. Check him out. But he's actually the one that came up with that solution for these crank bolts. I guess they like to get loose and stuff. They're tiny ass little bolts. Let's see. Yeah, we got this guy. Look at that thing. That is tiny. That's literally like the size of these intake ones. It's literally that. That's pretty small. So, but yeah, so we got to drill and tap all those out, and I'll go over those when I get the bolts, and then I can go over that in depth a little bit more. So, but yeah, so far so good. I'm wondering if this is like a common thing with these freaking 3800s, but like every freaking head gasket I've took off the coolant port has been plugged. Like right there, like there. Those 2 came off of that motor. And then like this is off of the other one, like at least, I don't know if that one was. Yeah, so this was clogged. I don't know where the other one is, but it's clogged. Don't even have to look at it to know. So, but yeah, got her pretty well thrown down, and now we wait for parts, basically. Alrighty, so just got the new cam in. Hopefully you guys ain't mad that I ain't really showing you how I did it. There's plenty of tutorials on it. I'm not the greatest at telling you what you need to do. So for canceling or deleting the balance shaft, this is the bearing that was inside of here. I took a 34 millimeter socket, which fits pretty snug. And then I just pounded it out this way. Obviously you can see where it blew out the gasket. So now we have some Dodge 440 cam bearings. So if you open it up, you'll see a small bearing in there, and that is the bearing that goes in there. So when you put this in, it's got this oiling hole. You can see the oiling hole is right there, and that's it. It's just that one. So I'll go ahead and pretty much I'm just going to put the hole at the other side, and then that's blocked off. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm actually probably going to go throw this in the freezer to help shrink it down. That'll make my life a little bit easier probably on the installation process as well. So, but yeah, let's go ahead and do that. And I like how I say that not good at doing the instructions, and then I proceed to instruct how to do that. Logic. But yeah, I mean, I've done a cam before. It's not too crazy. Yeah, like the main thing is you just got to be careful when you pull it out and putting it in. It's pretty simple. But all right, let's get this done. You can hear it change the noise. It pretty much just, it's like it's got no resistance and you won't see any stuff coming out. That's when you know you're good. So once you get all that, take your handy dandy brake clean. Give her a good flushing. Grab your taps. So I actually bought these like offline, and it has like a tapered and a plug and then a bottom out. So what you do, you open it, you start with your taper. You grab the plug, spray this guy out. Make sure you start the tap by hand. And you finish her off with the bottoming out. Alright, so these are the ones you're gonna need. 102 2803. They're off an SR20. Alright, give it one good flush. Give this guy a test fit. Run it in by hand. Do not reap it on it if it gets like stuck. Main thing is to make sure it goes all the way in without binding. What you do, take your RP lube and you put it around the base of the bolt or whatever. Basically what's going to be rubbing against here. And you just use some Loctite. Yeah, running tight. And that's all done. Now I put the pressure plate and clutch disc and all that crap back on after I brake clean this. So let's do that. Alrighty, so got that on. For your pressure plate bolts, if you need new ones, you can just go to O'Reilly's and get some M8 by 1.25s by 20 millimeters. Main thing is you want to make sure that they don't poke out the backside, and 20 millimeters is basically flush, so that'll be good. And those are 10.9, so they're good and strong. Other than that, that's about all I got. I mean, obviously you got your alignment tool. Make sure your flywheel side is facing the flywheel. So yeah, clutch is on. Everything is torqued. I got to double check, but I torqued the pressure plate to 15 pounds, and then those flywheel bolts are now 70 foot-pounds, as what ARP says, 70 foot-pounds. So, and yeah, so now we get to go put this thing in. And don't mind that, that was already like that, so that's from the previous owner of this clutch, because it's a used clutch, because I'm a cheap fuck. Alrighty guys, so I figured I edited up the little bit that I had, trying to get ahead here, or get caught up. Yeah, we're already at like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever. So figured we're gonna have to chop this video into 2 parts. So basically, new motor is mounted on the cradle. We got one motor mount holding it up. This other one we'll have to wait until I gotta remake all these oil lines. We're gonna do PTFE because I got it, and I did mess up one of the fittings when I dropped the cradle. So yeah, so other than that, that's about all I got. So basically these heads are just sitting on there just so that way, you know, water gets in, no water gets in there, nothing falls in the motor, crap like that. So like the whole top end's just sitting on there. We're waiting on the all the timing stuff. That stuff should be here in a couple days, I believe tomorrow. So when that shit shows up, we'll be able to get all this front end tidied up. We are waiting on, they shipped out part of the order. I told them to just ship part of it and then just ship the rest when it's here. So I'm waiting on the valve spring retainers, so I'll be able to get the front done, but I won't be able to get the heads on for a while. Also, I was gonna do MLS, but it's like a 50-50 shot, it sounds like, whether they're gonna leak, and I'm not getting the block machined, nor am I getting the heads machined. So I'm gonna just go with some OEM Fel-Pro head gaskets. I ordered 6 off freaking Rock Auto for like 30 bucks, so I've got extras. Other than that, guys, I guess I really don't have much. We're getting there, slowly but surely. Once I get the front cover on there, I'll probably try and get most of the other stuff bolted back on, and it'll be pretty close to ready. You just gotta slap the heads on and all that good stuff. So yeah, there's the update. You guys know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe. See you guys in the next one. Merch is in the description. But yeah, pick up some. It's actually pretty dope. I know I keep plugging it every freaking video, but I really like it. I'm really happy with this. It looks sweet. So, all right, I'll shut up.